Breaking Barriers, the history of intergender pro wrestling, the origins, wrestling without borders, intergender wrestling, the concept of men and women competing against each other inside the squared circle, has deep roots in the history of professional wrestling. Dating back to the carnival days of the early 20th century, women often challenged male wrestlers as part of traveling road shows. While these bouts were largely seen as spectacle rather than sport, they laid the groundwork for what would eventually become a significant movement in wrestling. During the golden age of wrestling in the 1940s and 1950s, women's wrestling itself was a novelty, let alone the idea of men and women competing together. Female wrestlers such as Mildred Burke and June Byers were trailblazers in their own right, proving that women belonged in the ring. However, the idea of intergender matches remained largely taboo, with few promoters willing to book such bouts. Challenging gender norms, pioneering matches and milestones. It wasn't until the late 20th century that intergender wrestling started gaining traction as a legitimate form of competition. In the 1970s and 1980s, women like Wendy Richter and Sherry Martel competed in mixed tag team matches, but rarely engaged in one-on-one contests against men. However, one of the first significant challenges to gender norms came in the 1990s, when promotions like WWE and ECW began experimenting with intergender competition. China, one of the most groundbreaking figures in wrestling history, shattered expectations when she not only competed against men, but also won the WWE Intercontinental Championship, something unheard of for a female wrestler at the time. Elsewhere, companies like ECW and various independent promotions allowed women such as Luna Vachon and Jazz to battle male counterparts, further legitimizing intergender wrestling. From novelty to competition, the evolution of intergender wrestling. The 2000s and 2010s saw intergender wrestling evolve from a sideshow attraction to a serious athletic competition. Promotions like Lucha Underground, Impact Wrestling, and various independent companies embraced intergender wrestling, treating it as a legitimate contest rather than a spectacle. One of the most defining moments in this evolution came with Tessa Blanchard, who made history by becoming the first woman to win Impact Wrestling's World Championship in 2020, defeating Sami Callihan in an intense, hard-fought match. This victory cemented intergender wrestling as more than just an occasional occurrence. It proved that women could stand on equal footing with their male counterparts. Independent wrestling promotions such as Beyond Wrestling, GCW, and Shimmer have also embraced intergender wrestling, regularly featuring women competing in high-profile matches against men. Wrestlers like Jordynne Grace, Kimberly, and Candice LeRae have all been pioneers in this space, proving that intergender wrestling isn't just viable, it's essential. The future of intergender wrestling. As intergender wrestling continues to gain acceptance, more promotions are opening their doors to this dynamic form of competition. While mainstream wrestling organizations like WWE and AEW remain hesitant to fully embrace intergender wrestling in one-on-one contests, independent wrestling continues to push boundaries. The debate over intergender wrestling will likely persist, with some arguing it blurs the lines of realism, while others see it as a step toward true equality in the sport. However, history has shown that when given the opportunity, Women can not only compete against men, but can often steal the show. Intergender wrestling has evolved from carnival sideshows to main event caliber matches. It has become a proving ground for some of wrestling's best talents, highlighting skill, athleticism, and storytelling beyond traditional gender barriers. As wrestling continues to evolve, intergender competition stands as a powerful testament to the limitless potential of the sport.